Welcome back to the Outdoor Adventures Podcast. I got in the studio today Jake Williams. Hey, Jake.
What's up?
Welcome to the show. He is, you might pick up on this by the last name, but he is another cousin in the Williams family clan. Dylan is, of course, here and rocking his NHL hat again.
Stay true to the colors.
Well, and as a commissioner, you got
to rock your brand, man.
Yeah. It looks good on you. We haven't been in the studio for a while. We packed it all up for the bachelor party. And how many times did we take it out of the box?
We didn't even open the lid.
Yeah. And so I packed up everything. We put it in one of those black and yellow Costco totes and snuck it onto the travel trailer because cousin Jason, we weren't sure how he'd react to an extra 100 pounds of podcast equipment coming on board. And we just said, we got to be real careful with that.
And we were right, too, when he found out what it was. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he wasn't super excited.
He wasn't stoked by any means.
And shockingly, we never took it out of the box. So
yeah, we had a lot of plans with it that never unfolded.
But the good news is everything got put back together. We took us a little time to get it working today, but we got it going. And our cordage is much more contained. There's not a spaghetti ball of stuff to deal with.
Well, I like it now, too. Like, you got the headphones in the right spot, so, like, I'm not having to lean across the table because I feel like I'm going to pull the whole thing down.
Yeah, you're not tethered.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good.
I like the new setup.
Well, and so let's do a little bachelor party recap. So we went over for John's bachelor party / Juneteenth camping trip and did some shooting. Both you and I sighted in our guns.
Yeah.
I did a little fishing with Jason Rush and his son Lincoln. Caught some trout, which was fun. We saw you guys saw a herd of elk.
Yep.
We saw quite a few bucks over there, some nice ones. A couple coyotes, but not within shooting distance. But it was a good time. We had a lot of laughs, had a lot of fun, just kind of relaxed.
I'm glad that we got the gun sighted in like fairly fast too. Like mine, I shot maybe 6 shots, I think. It was in and out, done, money.
Yeah, and that 300 Weatherby, you don't want to shoot too many rounds.
No, 6 was a plenty.
Yeah,
I was good after that for a few months.
I still have about 35 rounds to go in my break-in period on my gun.
You'll get there.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
Season, we got time. So, other stuff that's been going on, I don't know if I've talked about my shad fishing trips that I went on. Mm-hmm. I know that's a riveting topic, but I went shad fishing on my annual trip with Bill Higbee and my brother Charlie, and we filled the freezer with shad for crabbing. And the one cool thing that happened, I mean, I like shad fishing. They're just fun to catch. And, we had probably, the second day we probably caught 40 of them or so. And you're just catching them and throwing them in the 5-gallon bucket. And I hooked one, and we're in this hole in the Columbia, and then I hooked into an oversized sturgeon. So I don't know if the sturgeon grabbed the shad or if I foul hooked the sturgeon. I think I hooked him in the mouth by the way it reacted. And then he starts peeling line to the middle of the channel. It was just, I couldn't hold him at all, with shad gear. But I did have a pretty stout hook on. So he gets out to the middle of the channel, straightens my hook completely out, and then I lost him. But I got to fight him for a second, which was pretty fun. So, and then yesterday, so we are mid-July almost. It's my birthday on Tuesday, 7/11.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, I'll be 44, boys. So this is what it looks like genetically for you in the future.
If I had to guess, 43.
Yeah, well, I am technically.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
I'm just saying you look exactly your age.
Oh, that's good.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You guys are old.
I'm 25, dude.
Yeah, how old are you, Jake?
19.
Gosh, young buck in the room.
Bringing a teen.
Usually that's Dylan. Yeah. Did we get him to sign the waiver? The under 20 waiver?
No, I'm actually going to sue you guys.
Great.
Yeah. No, actually.
Well, good thing is we have $0 in the bank account. So there's nothing for you to take. But so yesterday we had a 3D shoot out at Horner's, which is a local up outside of Lebanon, Oregon, place where you can shoot these 3D targets. And I'd never been a part of one of those. but we were doing it. We donated the proceeds to Link Up Vets, which is a local organization that helps veterans with anything that they need. And it was pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people came out and shot the targets. We had a closest. Well, you had to shoot through a little piece of PVC, and you could win a rangefinder, as we had that. And then we gave away a bow with a raffle prize. Give away a bunch of raffle prizes. So it was a fun event. Everybody had fun, and I've never shot one of those. I didn't get to shoot in the event, but I'm looking forward to going back out there and shooting.
That's a lot of fun. It's obviously it's the closest thing you can get to actually hunting. I mean, you're put in situations that you're shooting that you would actually see in the field, but then also you get those cool, fun targets that you don't, you're not seeing those animals every day. So yeah, I love it. I've shot it twice, and I've lost a lot of arrows, but it's been fun.
Yeah, our money dot target was a moose at 95 yards. And so, you spent $2 to take 2 shots at it kind of thing. And the pot got to $80 by the end of the day, and 2 guys hit it. So
nice.
Yeah, they got to chop the pot. So look, we haven't talked about our tags. So, since the last time we did the podcast in Oregon, the draw results came out. Both Dylan and I got the Willamette tag, which gives us an extra tag where we can kill a buck or a doe from September 1st through February.
Yes. Yeah, it's something like that. It's ridiculous how long it is.
A lot of private ground. Technically, my house is in the Willamette tag, so that could be an advantage. But our goal is to get on the river and try to figure out how to do. We got to figure out the legalities and where we can shoot and where we can go, and maybe try to find a river buck. And we kind of have ambition for maybe trying to find one in velvet too, if we get after it in September.
Yeah, well, we're going to need to, because I could not navigate a river by any means
in November.
Yeah, in the sweet rubber raft I got. That should be pretty fun.
Yeah, as long as we have a Minn Kota trolling motor.
Yeah,
it should be
fine.
Good. Yeah.
We'll
in
make
case
it.
you can just get some paddles.
But like you and I are very sturdy people. We like good balance, obviously.
Stout.
People saw us, they'd be like, those guys could do like the tightrope walk fine.
Athletic.
Yeah. And like the thought of being on, because that's the only thing I have close to a boat. I mean, it's hard bottom raft, has 2 seats mounted in it, but other than that, it's going to be pretty sketchy trying to get on that thing in November.
We got some friends with boats, though. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to talk to somebody at the Oregon State Police just to find out the legalities of how you hunt it from the river. And I've got some friends that have done the river hunt thing, too. So if not, we'll talk to some farmers and maybe help eliminate.
Well, we found those couple gates, too.
Yeah.
That we can actually walk in, which was pretty cool. Shout out to John for that.
Yeah. Good job, John.
Yeah.
Also, Jake and I got the Eastern Oregon tag we've all been talking about. We knew we were probably going to get it, but you never know until you actually see successful, and we both got it, right, Jake?
Yeah.
I haven't
really
seen your
excited.
successful. I mean, I didn't get a screenshot or anything, but I'm assuming you got it.
I sent you a screenshot.
You did?
The family group chat. Yeah.
Oh, man. How did I miss that?
You're old, like I said.
Yeah, I don't know how to do group text.
Yeah. What is this?
My phone starts smoking whenever,
Yeah.
those flip phones aren't made for the group text.
No,
know?
definitely not.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time, though.
You guys
Yeah.
and my wife.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
which
fun
was the
trip.
plan. That was the plan. These 3 tags, and we got our guides, and we're ready to go out there. And I mean, I'm not shooting anything small, Jake. I'm counting on you to shoot the first fork and horn you see.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah,
Realistically, I'm going to shoot the biggest one just because I've shot the biggest blacktail out of all of us. So.
you have. I've seen pictures of that blacktail. We'll talk about that. I want to hear about that story. But I like the confidence. I like the swagger. I do appreciate it, but you're wrong.
I'm very confident, but I know I'm going to get over there and see a fork and horn and dump it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, wow, that's a giant blacktail. And I'm going to be like, oh, it's not a blacktail, it's a mule deer.
Hey, and we need that meat in camp, so just feel free to pull that trigger.
Well,
I might.
his guide's sitting right here. It's like I'm like his lawyer, kind of.
Yeah. You're
So-
insulating him from me.
We're
Yes.
in contract.
Yeah, we're kind of under contract in a way. But here's the thing. This is Jake's first time really getting to experience it. Because the first time that you were there, how old were you? 10? 9?
9.
And he was there for 2 days,
No, I was there for 3.
3 days. And slept 98% of the trip.
He was growing, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying there's anything bad about it, but he didn't even, I don't even know if he saw one of the deer that we saw.
I saw a couple.
Every time I'd
get
go, oh, there's one, Jake, you see it? And I look over, just out cold.
Jake, how are your deer eyes? Do you have pretty good deer eyes, or are you?
I mean, they're getting better.
They're getting way better.
They're growing, but for a long time, I just was the truck sleeper. I was just there eating snacks, being big.
Yeah.
That's my nickname for a long time, Snacks.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, somebody's got to do it, and it was me.
It's a smart move because, like, everyone else kind of does the work, and you're a part of it.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I haven't ever hunted with you, so I'm excited to be able to go on a hunt with you. I'm guessing your dad was like Jason, or Dylan's dad, Jason, keep you guys a secret, keep you locked up at home and tell us, oh, they didn't do their homework, they can't come on the hunt,
Yeah, no, that was just their way of getting away, I think.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're going to come hunting with me, and then they'd wake up at whatever hour in the morning and just leave.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that recently with my son. Told him I was taking him blueberry picking and then didn't wake him up. So he's got baseball playoffs today. So another little quick, current event. His team limped into the playoffs, and then they won their first game, which then they played twice yesterday. Lost the first one to the number 1 seed. Came back and won their second one. They were down 5-2 and ended up winning 12-8. And now they play again today. They got to play that team that beat them yesterday. If they get through them, then they play the number 1 seed twice, potentially. So yeah. I'm pretty excited for him. He's fun to watch. It's a fun time. He's 11. I mean, you guys both played baseball. It's a great sport as a spectator. I don't know what it's like on the field because I didn't get past 4th grade with baseball. But.
That's the best. Especially in those atmospheres. Like, we went to the state, we were probably the same age as Michael was. We went to the state championship game, and it was one of the funnest weekends. Just, I don't know, the atmosphere was just totally different. So many people around, so many different teams. You're playing on the same complex, so it was just fun. It was a fun place to be.
Yeah, our tournament's in Newport, Oregon, so we got to truck over to Newport, and Newport is the number 1 seed. So, I mean, they're, I guess, pretty good.
That Newport team, I don't know if they're anything like when I was growing up, but they had the kids from Toledo. They would recruit them. Their team was always pretty good.
Oh, we're talking some dark arts over here. We got some
I'll spill the beans right now.
Use this today, Sam. You could get you guys a free win out of it.
Yeah. Hey, are these guys from Toledo?
Yeah.
Well, Toledo, they don't do like tournament baseball in the summer. They just do like league. It's called Babe Ruth or something like that. So all the Toledo kids just go play for Newport.
Oh,
makes sense.
I'll rat them all out.
Yeah, there we go. That's breaking news, really, right? News. Live on the podcast.
This is live, folks.
Yeah.
When you guys listen to this in September, this was.
Hey, just to clear the air on that, we did get a little bit behind. The bachelor party kind of set us back a little bit as far as getting the podcast over to Dan, who edits these for us and adds the music for us. And so that's kind of on me a little bit. But also, Dan's a busy guy. He's got a day job, and we don't pay him a whole lot to help us out with this.
Yeah, you need to start paying him enough so he can quit his day job, I think. Focus all in on this.
Some other breaking podcast news, we did order some merch. So we got some hats and some shirts coming soon. So
I'm so excited to see them.
Yeah, they should be cool. Then we got a couple important public announcements that we need to make. So we got approached by the Oregon Department of Transportation to let everybody know what's going on, and Dylan's going to go ahead and let us know. So the Van Buren Bridge is going to be out for 4 years, and so they reached out and told us to let our listeners know how they can still use the river and the waterway and the bike paths and all that.
So basically, the river will remain usable during all of the construction, and there will be a 40-foot channel marked for boating access. So I don't know how they're going to mark it, but they'll have something in the water for you to know this is where you would go. They'll make it very clear. Just only thing that they say to stay aware of is just watch out for obviously the construction, the work zone, while you're underneath the bridge, while they're working on it. But yeah, you will be able to have access to the river through that section underneath the bridge.
Yeah, and we were talking before we got started, a 4-year project on a bridge. I don't know if I want to be going under there in a kayak if there's hunks of concrete coming into the water, or
Yeah,
rebar.
no, good.
I'm sure it's going to be safe, but just use caution. We can post these links. There's some QR codes you can click on that give you all these maps and routes. And but yeah, it is going to be accessible. So that was the whole point. The reason they reached out to us is they wanted to let people know that use the waterway and use the bike trails, that there is going to be a way to get around the construction. Because 4 years is a long time. And if you've had that favorite section of river that's now, impeded, you want to be able to get around that. So,
Yeah.
I had a couple other stories to talk about. There's also a thing going on in the Willamette Valley called Shop Talk. So we've had 3 meetings, and it's either the third or fourth Monday of the month. And reach out to me if you're interested in coming. But essentially, we all get together, have a barbecue out at this guy's private lake. You can go fish the lake if you want to. And we just talk about hunting and fishing and outdoor stuff. And there's fishing guides and hunting guides there, all ages. It's kind of a men's group, if you will. And anyway, I think the August one is going to be like a swap meet. So you'll bring old gear that you don't use anymore, fishing or hunting, and we're going to trade with each other. So
Nice.
it's been kind of cool. So if anybody has any interest in coming to that, it's just for Willamette Valley outdoorsmen, basically.
I need to start going to that.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've gone to the 2 out of 3 of them.
Yeah, I need to start going. Also, Jake, I want to go back to you and I have been planning this deer hunt. I've done it with Sam too, obviously, for a year minimum.
Longer than that. We started talking about tags, and me, Sam, and Dylan's wife putting in together.
You can call her Taya if you want.
Oh, Taya.
You know her name.
I do know her name. But we've been talking about that since you and Taya really got together.
Yeah, I'm just really excited. It's your first time. I've missed having you because of you had a pretty good sports conflict with football. So you weren't able to really join us on many of these. I only got to really hunt with you over here for maybe a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah,
around football season.
It was tough with the football conflict. Glad that I got to play 4 years of really competitive high school football.
Yeah.
Yeah, because football is August to November pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. If we made playoffs, we'd go into November, which we only made playoffs once.
You don't have to talk about that part.
But Jake, you were a pretty darn good you were a good football player, because I used to get the newspaper back there and I'd always see Jake Williams, 8 carries for 72 yards or whatever.
It was just like Jake Williams kicked out of today's ball game.
Okay.
Did you get kicked out a few times?
Once.
Well, that's just passion.
Yeah.
It was definitely something. I don't know. Dylan was at that game. It was a real good one for me. But no, I was pretty all right at football. I loved it.
Were you a running back?
I was a running back, and I played most of my high school career. I played outside linebacker.
It's a fun position.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember just reading the stat line, and back when I took a paper, but for 6 months out of a year, every once in a while.
Yeah.
But now they don't. I don't even know if you can buy newspapers anymore. But
I don't know. All I know is that I have a couple cutouts from the paper in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, my son's playing football for the first time this year too, so he's kind of excited about it. But they practice 5 days a week.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
which I'm not really stoked about.
Yeah,
it's a commitment. He's either gonna love it or he's gonna hate it. It'll be the first year that he'll really know.
I hated it.
Yeah,
Tell you that much.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, he's excited right now, so I'm happy for him to do anything he wants to do. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing. It's a good character builder for sure. Football's awesome for that because he'll be pushed to different limits that he didn't think he could get to.
It also just makes you kind of realize that life's a battle, I guess. That's kind of corny to say, but it teaches you that you get knocked down, you got to get back up and stuff like that. All the good stuff that you got to learn.
Even when you can't breathe.
Yeah.
Even when you can't breathe.
Yeah.
It'll toughen him up a little bit. I mean, with my genetics, he's already going to be pretty tough. But
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's going to be one of the toughest around.
Yeah, you guys don't know what Sam looks like, but he's 6'5", 290 of straight muscle.
yeah, just ripped.
Just jacked.
Yeah.
Wears Skechers.
So the other thing coming up that I bumped into this news story last night, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, is having these meetings about their big game public meetings for next year because they're eliminating some hunts. They're going to change some of the numbers. I didn't dive into it. All I did was look at the unit we hunt and see if they were going to mess with the tag numbers, and they're not changing them. So I was kind of like, well,
okay.
And that was just for mule deer. I didn't look at elk or anything like that yet. But I'll dive a little deeper on that. But these meetings are across the state. The first one is in Newport on my birthday, July 11th at 5:30 at the Rogue Bayfront Public House. And then if you miss that one, you can run over to the Sizzler in Springfield the next day, and they're having a meeting. But our closest one would be Corvallis, and that one is a virtual webinar at 6 p.m. on the 18th of July. So anyway, I think it's always good as an outdoorsman to at least be informed of what's going on and see what's up, at least read through the different hunts. Like they have every species listed there, and so you can click on each one and figure out what's changing. So
I never even looked into that ever.
I know.
So this is the first time I'm kind of actually hearing about it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the article just popped on my phone, and I was like, oh, that seems like one worth clicking on.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to tune into that one in Corvallis or that webinar or whatever.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth it just so we can know what's up.
Yeah.
My phone's been telling me about Damian Lillard a lot lately. The Portland Trailblazer guy asking for a trade. So
it's tough. It's a tough look.
Said it was going to be his home.
That is.
See you later, bud.
That is hard because we've put a lot of money into him. I mean, he's definitely a good player, but
But they've been relying on him for how long?
Oh yeah, he's had to carry.
Yeah, his back has gotta hurt.
Yeah,
You can only go to the finals so many times with one guy.
Yeah.
I sent Dylan a picture of the backpack that I'm going to take for the hunting trip, and it's like this guy with this giant thing that's like,
you could fit a camp trailer.
Yeah,
in it.
15 feet in the air kind of thing. And yeah, that's Damian Lillard with the Blazers.
Yeah.
He's been working really hard. I'm not in the hater camp that wants to hate on him for wanting to get out. He told them what he wanted, and he didn't feel like they were there. But I also don't think, hey, we paid you a lot of money. We're not going to trade you for Udonis Haslip or whatever.
I will say that I'm on the hater train.
All right.
That's my guy, and he's letting me down
What'd you do, buy a Damian Lillard jersey?
one time.
You can just
still.
get a Sharpie, and add another 0 for Scoot.
Yeah. Well, I did that once for the Mariners. I don't remember who it was, but I bought a jersey. They turned I think it was like their first year or second year playing for the Mariners, and they were just killing it. So obviously I went out and got a jersey.
The outfielder. What was his name?
I don't remember.
Ken Griffey Jr.
No, not him. I think I know that guy's name. But anyways, they traded him right after the jersey arrived. I went, well, what do I do with this now? So I never wore it. Sat in my closet for like 6 years.
You know what's funny? I had this same experience happen. I bought a Robinson Cano jersey right before he got his
that's
steroid.
tough, yeah.
And
That's
then
a tough look.
his steroid thing happened, and then he got traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Sad
going to be a
days.
lot of Lillard jerseys at the old Goodwill, I think.
Or getting burned because people
Why
get
do
mad.
people do that? I saw that like Tom Brady when he left the Patriots. Everybody's just burning his jersey.
Yeah, I think that's kind of weird.
The LeBron Cavaliers thing.
Oh, yeah,
all the
that
jerseys
was-
burned. Then the
People
Miami.
take it way too far. Like,
Yeah.
these guys are trying to win some ball games.
For
man.
me, I've been a diehard Trailblazers fan my whole life. I grew up in the Rip City era with Clyde Drexler and Buck Williams, Kevin Duckworth, Jerome Kersey. Duckworth and Kersey are rest in peace.
Yeah.
But Danny Ainge. We were ballers in the 90s, And I've been waiting for the Blazers to come back ever since then. And we had some good runs. The Scottie Pippen years were good. And then Lillard has given us some really fun playoff memories, some of those half-court shots and stuff. But, I'll be sad to see him go, but I'm also I think we did pretty good in the draft, and we'll see what we can do. And hopefully, if we got to let that guy go, we got to get something good out of it. So hopefully they can work something out.
Oh, yeah, they got to get somebody. He's a high-caliber player. Even he's getting a little bit older, but
It's
Yeah,
game
He's
time,
still
man.
he's still dynamite.
Best.
Yeah.
He's the best. Game time, like end of game shooter.
yeah.
You want Dame.
He has
dude,
made
he's
some
ice
clutch,
cold, man.
clutch shots.
That dude's a freaking killer.
Step back, wave him away.
So see, even though you're hating on him a little bit, you still love him. You can't help
Oh, you
yourself.
can't not
Yeah.
love him. He's the guy.
Yeah.
So we
But-
turned into a sports podcast
Yeah.
for a little bit here. That was kind of fun.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back.
We'll do the sports radio voices here.
yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so can we transition back into
Yeah. Let's
our
get it.
normal?
Well, let's get on to our guest here,
Yeah.
Jake. Yeah. So Jake, thanks for coming on. We're excited to have you in the studio, and we've talked about it for a while. And life happens, and we get busy. And I'm glad you made it. And you guys we started at 6 a.m. this morning. These guys were early. I was impressed.
Yeah, it's my first time being early.
Well, I just want to throw something in here really quick. Dylan, first of all, didn't think I was going to be on time to his house because my dad's never on time.
Yeah. Well,
And
you guys
then-
have a freaking track record, dude. You can't blame me for that.
And then I'm driving down the road on the phone with Dylan on my Bluetooth. And Dylan's talking to me, and I start hearing some birds. And I'm like, "Are you outside?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just walking around outside."
Yeah,
And
I
then
went for a walk.
I
this
pull up to
morning.
his house, and he's walking down the road on a different street than he lives on. Just walking down the road at my pickup. It's a little scary.
No, he just gets after it. He's
I'm dedicated to this place, man.
yeah, and he doesn't want the dog to wake up the baby. And he thinks about his family.
We got a bunch of walks coming up this hunting season, so he's just getting fit.
I'll tell you, he is getting in good shape. I saw your 4th of July photos, and I'm like, dang, that guy is getting skinny.
Yeah, 45 pounds down.
Wouldn't necessarily say skinny, but
Yeah. Well, there's
Working
still
on
some
it.
meat on the bones. It looks like I had a few boxes of Twinkies in my life, but that's okay.
45 pounds, though, you should be proud of that. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
proud of
bad.
you.
No, you're not. Shut the anyways, so getting back to some of the questions, more the interviews type of thing. What got you into hunting? Even though we probably know the answer, he's probably sitting close to you right now, but it's whatever. You can go ahead and talk about it if you want.
Sam Williams.
Oh, yeah.
No, I do look up to my cousin Sam because he's killed some big stuff and he's a good hunter. But the main reason that got me into hunting was just years of seeing my dad leave early, seeing him come home, him going out on the big Eastern Oregon hunts or even just any hunt, and talking to my mom and being like, I'm going to do that one day, and just looking up to him, wanting to be the guy who puts meat in the freezer, want to get a big mount on my wall. That was kind of a thing that I wanted, but once I got a little older, I realized that that wasn't the only reason to hunt. So
Yeah. That was almost identical to his dad's story of why he hunted or why he got into hunting. Like,
Yeah.
not even joking, like it was almost to a T.
Yeah.
Like,
What is that, episode 6 or 5?
I don't remember.
I can't remember which one it is, but yeah, tune back to that one.
Yeah,
You can
check
hear
it out.
episode 5.
Compare to the
Episode
stories.
5.
See if he stole some pieces from his dad. Who knows?
Yeah, or they're just similar.
They are
And,
similar.
I know you guys have hunted together quite a bit. I remember you showed us that one spot where you, me, and Kyler saw those bucks that day.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I was in there with my brother Charlie hunting, and then all of a sudden you guys come squirreling around the corner, and you were going to a different zone, I think where you killed your big blacktail. But
Yeah.
it's a kind of a neighboring area. So why don't we talk about that blacktail hunt a little bit? Yeah, go ahead, Jake. Tell us all about it.
I want to throw this in first. Dylan wasn't there for it.
I
Nope.
missed it.
Dylan was supposed to be there. I mean, granted, he had prior arrangements with family stuff, but wasn't there. But
He's a big family guy. He
he's
brought it up a few times.
big family guy. It was
Yeah, Dominic Toretto over here, man.
I don't know. It was just a Sunday. I didn't think it was going to be anything crazy. It was mid-season, or was it end of season?
I think it was the youth weekend.
No, it wasn't the youth weekend.
You had a
pretty
youth.
sure.
Did you have a youth
Because
tag then?
I might have been.
It was, remember those two guys?
Oh, yeah.
Or that guy and his two kids?
Yeah, that
up
would
there?
it would have been the youth weekend then, but it's so it was a Sunday. Me and Dylan went hunting the day before in the same place. We walked it. We didn't walk in as far, but we walked it. Got to a clearing, glassed for a little bit. Didn't see anything, and then was talking to my dad, talking to my uncle. And I was like, "Hey guys, we should go in this spot tomorrow." Me and Dylan were telling them, and we're just walking in the morning, just cruising down this gravel road, get to this clear cut that me and Dylan stopped at. We glassed for probably an hour. and didn't see anything. And I was telling him, I was like, well, if we just keep walking down the road, we'll get to another clear cut Dylan was telling me about. And we're walking, and we decided, which was a terrible idea, to try to walk up this clear cut. And got like halfway up, and my Uncle Jason was like, this is a terrible idea. What are we doing? Let's walk down this gravel road and see if we can get to a spot that we can see this clear cut instead of having to walking through it. And we were walking down the road, and my uncle just says, hey, there's a deer up there. And I was like, where at? Because in the morning, I was really tired. I couldn't see anything.
Back to that sleeping.
Yeah.
My dad told the story a little bit. He did not tell every detail, but I'll tell you every detail.
Yeah, let's do it. That's
we're
what
walking, and I'm trying to find it with binos. Still can't see it. And then I ended up probably 5 minutes later finding it with the binos. And we were all standing, and I tried to get on it free-handed with, thankfully, Dylan let me use his gun, his 300.
I'm going to pause you for a second. Was that deer in its bed, or was he standing there?
No, he's standing there looking at us. Probably from where we're standing on the road, probably 225 maybe out.
Yeah.
And I tried to get on freehand, could not, because Dylan at this time had a Wish scope.
We've talked about his Wish.
The
Leopold
Wish
scope.
Leopold scope.
Yeah.
That's like a 5X.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it at all. And so I say, wow, I can't see it. And I saw a log, pretty decent sized log. So I climbed up this little hill and tried to get on it, and I still couldn't see it with Dylan's scope. And my uncle came up, and he was trying to help me guide in, and I was breathing heavy. I was tweaking out. I was so excited. Couldn't really tell how big it was, but I knew it was a decent-sized buck. And I ended up getting on it about probably a minute after getting to this log and put a good shot on it and dropped her where it stood. It was a good shot.
Yeah, it was a 4-point, right?
4x5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was a
nice one.
It was a young 4x5 though. It would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been huge the next
Yeah.
year, but you can't pass up on a deer like that.
No, never. Because when I walked into this gate the first time, I was with Jason Rush in Lincoln, and we had a late start getting in there. Walked up to the exact spot we didn't go up there. We went past it. I'd never been up there before, so I didn't know how to get around yet. And we walked past it, and I can see the clear cut that Jake shot his buck in from the main line up to my right. I don't know. It was a ways off. And I picked up my binos, and I was picking up deer everywhere. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, holy crap, that's $5 right there. So we got back up to where we could get up to that clear cut, but by the time we got there, it was, like I said, it was getting later in the day. Those deer started bedding down. We couldn't see them anymore. So then when we came back, Jake and I went up there the day he was talking about, and then we relayed that. I was obviously talking it up. I saw those deer. So my dad and his dad took them out, and they called me right after they killed it. I didn't answer. I was sleeping. It was first thing in the morning.
It was probably not even. No, it was 8. Probably like 8 o'clock when we called you.
And then I look at my phone. My dad texts me like, Jake got one. And I was like, yeah, right. Like, he kept saying, you need to come here now. Jake got one. But I've done this to my friends a million times. Like, hey, I killed one. Come help me. Never did. I just wanted somebody with me so I didn't have to hunt by myself type of thing.
Oh.
They get there and I'd go, oh, yeah, by the way, I didn't say that was a joke on the text type of thing. So I Jason Rush calls me, and he goes, hey, you heading up to the gate to help Jake? And I was like, what are you talking about? How do you know about it? He said, your dad asked to borrow my sled so we can get that deer out of there. I said, all right, well, I'll meet you there. So I get there, walk in. In the first moment when I walked up, dude, I was like this close to crying. It was the coolest thing. I was so proud of Jake in that moment. And the drag out, though, good Lord.
It was so not fun. It was straight.
4 miles.
4 miles straight uphill.
That was a big buck, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing the pictures of that. I'm like, man, that's a dandy.
It was a big body buck. And another thing that I didn't add is at first when I shot, I didn't see it drop because of all the it was really, really foggy, and another deer took off. There was another buck with it behind it, like way behind it, and it took off. And I was like, oh, I missed. And I felt like Dylan, because he misses a lot.
You got that heart sinking
I was like,
moment.
are you kidding me? Like, this is one of the last days, if not the last day. I don't remember, but I was like, I just messed it up. I was really sad.
Yeah, you definitely don't ever forget the misses. So that's good that this one wasn't one of those.
Yeah, it was good. It made me really happy. It was a good time. Gave Dylan a big old hug when he got up there.
Was that your first buck?
No. That
Just
was
your biggest one.
my biggest.
No, the first two.
Oh, I can tell you a story about the first one.
Let's hear it.
So, those of you who don't know, Dylan's family has some decent property at their house. And we're at Dylan's parents before. Were you living at your house now?
No, not yet.
So he's still living. Yeah, that was a while ago. He's still living in his parents' house. And we were just having not a very good hunting season to this point. I think your dad had got a buck, and one of our other buddies has got a buck, and I just had been having no luck with football and stuff, getting no time off. Just hadn't been able to get hunting. And we went out the day before early, made it a whole day thing.
And then my mom sent us a picture of this big old 4-point walking right underneath the deck. Said, you guys probably should have just stayed at home today. It was like at 9:30 in the morning.
Could have got this one with a slingshot. Yeah.
And you know what? We didn't see a single deer that day.
Yeah, it was hot.
So we said, screw this. We're going to just, if we go out today, we're going to go on an evening walk. We're not going to do anything crazy. And it was like right at like 7 probably. The sun had just been coming up. It was a great sunset that day. I remember that. And we're sunrise, my bad. We're just sitting in Dylan's parents' kitchen, eating breakfast, and Uncle Jason goes, "Hey, there's a buck right there. Go get your gun." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I grabbed my gun. I'm still wearing my shorts from the night before, and he goes, "It's not going to go anywhere. You got some time." I took another bite of pancake, walked out on the deck, and put a pretty good shot on my first ever deer and dropped it like maybe 100 yards from Dylan's house.
Yeah.
You had to carb load first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hungry,
Get
man.
the carbs in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right off the deck.
Yeah, those first ones, it's so awesome to see. Like, I know I was, like, my dad and his dad always talk about how, like, cool and calm and collected I was when I was shooting a deer and stuff. But in reality, they were just breathing so loud, both of them together. They couldn't hear me breathing.
Yeah.
Like, I breathed loud when buck fever is definitely a real thing. And I'm sitting at the table. I'm still eating when Jake's doing all this. And the door's just cracked open, the sliding glass door, and I can just hear. It was so funny.
Well, especially, that first one, it is kind of like you want to get one so bad, that first one. And so I'm at the phase now for this Eastern Oregon hunt we have coming up. Mm-hmm. If I would rather not tag a deer. The last couple of days, I may change my tune if we're all the way to the end of the season, but I really want to get a big one.
Yeah, that's my goal. I know that this tag only comes around once in a while, but I don't want to leave with anything small.
Yeah, odds are you're not going to get this tag again for 5 years.
No, I've seen some of the things too that Dylan's killed, my dad's killed, my Uncle Jason, and for sure my Grandpa Billy.
Yeah.
He's shot some of the biggest mule deer I've ever seen in my entire life out of there.
And my brother Charlie's 4-point out of there too is a monster. So
it's a monster.
Yeah. It's and once you've seen those big ones, and during archery season last year, we saw a couple just toads, and I'm like, okay, once you see those big 3.5+ year old deer compared to everything else you're seeing, it's just so much more meat. It's just such, I don't know. And I'm not a trophy hunter necessarily, but I want to get a big deer. I just don't want to burn the tag on something little.
And I wouldn't even say you're being a trophy hunter. There's just so many, you're going to see so many young bucks out there that are 3 points that are still going to be very big deer and very, like, deer that people are going to want. But if you wait, let them walk, you'll see a monster. Something that's a wall hanger.
Yeah, we're going to be patient for sure because we've had 10 tags over there and filled all 10. So with 3, it's like we don't need to
Well, yeah.
be in a hurry.
You and I talked about it too. Like, we're obviously going to make it a trip. Like, we're going to be there a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I think my wife and my dad, they're going over Wednesday. You might go Wednesday.
We're going over Friday.
We're going
Thursday night.
No, we're going Thursday morning. We're taking Thursday, Friday.
I thought we were just taking Thursday or Friday.
It's hard because Dylan's been planning this thing for a long time.
Yeah,
I know. Jake and I always change the plan too. Like every time we talk, it's something totally different.
We still don't know what we're driving over.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Just get an Uber.
Yeah, we'll Uber over.
Yeah, Uber it over.
It'd be cheap.
Couple other things that I forgot to talk about. I saw 4 bulls the other day on the way to Michael's first playoff baseball game.
Nice.
So we're on Highway 34 heading towards Corvallis. And right on the right-hand side, right where the Calapooya River goes under the highway, there's 4 bulls sitting there.
What?
Just eating in that little patch of green. I was just shocked. I've never seen elk there ever. Just right off of Oakville Road. Yeah. Anyway.
I've never seen elk there either. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of bucks, though.
Oh, headed towards Newport?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's insane out there. I drive that road probably once a week. Just got some friends, and my girlfriend lives in Toledo.
But these ones were like right in Albany, right off Oakville Road.
Oh, that's
just right on the highway.
Yeah, that
just
is
these
nuts.
4 big, 2 branch bulls and 2 raghorns, in velvet, of course.
Oh, looks like we know where we'll be.
Yeah. I was going to do some research
See
on
if we
how
can highway hunt.
how fast antlers grow, because I think it's one of the fastest growing materials, like when they regrow their antlers. And I want to figure that out. I'll have to look that up.
And I want to know that because I was going to bring this up too, the antler growth, because I have a picture of a buck that I saw up at my parents' place, I don't know, a couple days ago. And I could tell he's not done growing. Like, I want to know, like, what's the typical time frame? When do they tip? By the time they drop, when do they start? And then when do you tend to seed end? I know everything, all of them are probably different, but
I wonder if you can, like, scale it, too. Because, like, what if you see, like, a small forking horn and it turns out to be a monster, like, 3 weeks later be a monster 4x4?
Yeah, that's the part.
Never know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when they're in velvet.
Yeah.
I mean, those ones we saw over east for the bachelor party weekend, I mean, they looked huge. But when they're in velvet, everything looks big, And I've been seeing quite a few blacktail bucks, too. I saw one yesterday morning on the way to the 3D shoot on that Lacombe Drive just out there, and it was a nice big buck just in somebody's yard. And then we did the jet boat tours on the Rogue River here just recently for my mother-in-law's 70-something birthday. And saw quite a few river bucks, I was going to tell you. So we saw 2 or 3 bucks along the waterway, and does and fawns too, and they were just in the river.
do you think that river guide will give us permission to hunt?
Well, the rogue won't be in the Willamette tag. Yeah.
I didn't hear the river name when you first started this conversation.
Yeah, the Rogue River's down south, but there's those southern blacktails down south. There's some big ones down there.
Yeah, there are.
It's crazy, just like the shift. Sorry. It's crazy, like the shift in deer, because like you go over towards like the west, like the coast area, those bucks are all small body, small horn deer, and then over where we live, there's some pretty big bucks, and then just you keep going farther east, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and they're all, technically the same species, but they, the blacktail kind of came out of the mule deer.
Some mutations.
Yeah.
Well, I like it too. Like, we've always talked about the hunting, like the high Cascade mountain range and stuff. And for me, I don't know what it is, but when you see one of those bucks, I imagine maybe some bench leg actions happening or something, but they're unbelievable size. Unbelievable.
Yeah, some of those bench legs are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jake, you also do a little bit of fishing, right?
I do. I don't get it to do it as much as I would like to, but yeah, I love bass fishing. That's probably my favorite kind of fishing, just because best bass fishing, in my opinion, is summertime bass fishing. Summertime, right before nighttime, is my favorite time to fish and get out there as much as I can.
And he's also done the Alaska thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Me, my mom's dad, my my grandpa, and then my dad and a buddy of ours, a family friend. We went to Alaska when I was a freshman in high school for a week. Did some trout fishing, some salmon fishing. The salmon fishing over there is insane.
Oh, yeah. It's Kyler's folks are going next week doing the whole Kenai
nice.
thing, and they're going to do the float plane, fish right where the sockeye are going into the lake and see the bears and all that. So.
Yeah, we did
That's my favorite thing in the world.
We did the sockeye, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that, and there's so many people. It's crazy how big that river is, too, and just how many people are out there. And it's not like over here when you're salmon fishing, it's combat fishing, where if you move from your spot, you're losing it. There's so many spots, and everybody's so nice, so respectful. They'll holler at you. They'll be like, "Oh, you get a fish?" Or people will be yelling
so many
fish on.
fish and so much water that there's plenty of room for everybody.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty cool.
It's also just beautiful over there.
Isn't your mom's sister's husband, isn't he into the outdoor stuff too? Did he go on any of those trips?
No, he didn't come with us.
Isn't he an outdoors kind of guy?
Yeah, he's a big fisherman. Like, he fishes every weekend. He's not as much into the hunting because he lives down south, like in California, and I don't know really how big the hunting is over there. But I know that there's a really big fishing scene down there. Like, he's a big bass fisherman.
Yeah, you may not know this story, but when I was first going to Oregon State, I called your mom and I said, "Hey, you've always been good to my cousin Chris. You're a nice lady. I know your sister goes to Oregon State. You should hook that up for me." And so I hung out with your aunt, and she definitely was not into this vibe at all. So there was no romantic connection, but she was really cool, and she showed me around the campus and we'd email back and forth. Her email back then, nobellykelly@yahoo.com.
The fact that you remember that is hilarious.
Yeah, but she was super nice and
she's a lovely lady.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a connection you probably didn't know existed.
I did not know about that, but I'm definitely going to bring that up.
Yeah, well, now it's out there.
Now it's out there for the public. You know it.
Yeah, but it sounds like she married well and got an outdoorsy guy, so that's good.
Yeah, he's a big fisherman. I mean, she still, to this day, will never go fishing, but apparently he got her out a couple weekends ago, got her go fishing. Now she's in love with it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, I love being on the water. We fished a little bit on that bachelor party, and I had a really good time doing it. I'm supposed to go bass fishing tonight, but we'll see how the baseball playoffs go and how tired I am.
It's a completely different vibe. Like, hunting, at least in our family, is the number one. Everyone enjoys fishing. I don't know so much about Dylan, but
I could do without, probably.
It's just because he's bad at it. But
Whatever, dude.
Everybody enjoys fishing in our family, but hunting is, if we're hunting, you're taking it serious. You're going 100%. You're trying to get it done. Fishing's more, when you have time to fish, you go fish, and you just go fishing to go fishing.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a whole different skill set, though, if you get into the salmon and steelhead. And it's funny how we've all kind of moved over to bass, but there's actually a lot of bass fishing. I talked to a guy yesterday that fishes green Peter for smallies, and he's caught some 5-6 pounders, and there's some big fish out there.
Well, I got some pretty good hookups with my work and some people that my dad knows. I get to fish some private stuff every once in a while, and it's just laid back, calm, chilling.
You need to come out and fish the neighborhood lake with me.
I will.
Yeah.
I want to.
On the kayaks.
Yeah, I got 3 kayaks.
Go
ready to rock and roll.
Kayak in the neighborhood.
Just do.
Oh, you're not coming?
If I have to, I will. I did actually already say on a podcast that I would try it once.
You have to come with us.
I'll let you fish with my big kayak. It's 12 feet. You can stand up in the thing.
Yacht we can put on it.
You're just nervous about it?
There's
Nice,
not.
dude.
There's
I'm
no
just
way you're
not,
standing up on it.
I love to swim and stuff, but for some reason when I'm on a boat, no matter what body of water I'm in, I could be in my parents' pond, and I'm thinking that a great white's going to come from the bottom and bite me in half.
You're a shark guy, huh?
Yeah, it freaks me out. Watched Jaws one too many times, I think.
There's so many sharks where we live in all the ponds.
Yeah.
All those
I know.
freshwater ponds are loaded.
It checks out.
Yeah.
Trust me. Even when we go to Chelan, Washington, stay there all the time. My dad used to tell me these stories when I was a little kid. about all these giant unnamed fish that no one's ever been able to
can
identify.
Can we talk about that really fast? Dylan's dad is the biggest and best storyteller I've ever heard in my entire life. He'll tell you anything and will make you believe it.
What do you mean biggest?
Well, he tells a lot of big stories.
Tells a lot of big stories.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sharks.
calling him big, even though
Yeah.
He's a big man.
he's a big man.
He's
He's
losing
not-
a lot of LBs, though, right now.
But that's great. You guys are both on the LB train. But
Yeah.
I would say I wouldn't want to fight your dad, really.
I'd go without it.
Kind of sucks because I am the youngest, but I'm also by far one of the smallest Williams.
Not really. You're the same height as me, dude.
Yeah, but I'm saying size-wise, dog, I always feel like I'm the smallest.
All right.
Comparatively.
All right. I got you by 60 pounds.
Hey,
I get it.
You got time, bud.
I'll be there one day. I'm staying under the 200 train, though, for a long time.
Was it you when we were in Chelan? I thought it was you. My dad threw you off the dock at the end after he was telling us, like, when you dive off the end of that dock, it's super deep lake. And when you look down, the grass or whatever you call it at the bottom is really tall. So, and it's waving with the water. And when you look down into it, you're either expecting to see a full-blown skeleton, some dude that just washed up right
Or
there.
like a Goliath grouper.
Yeah, or something coming up to literally bite your feet straight off your legs. The only two outcomes to that for me. And I thought it was you. Right after my dad was trying to scare us completely out of this world, threw you off the deck.
Yeah,
Right at
I
the dock.
was probably 12 years old.
Just
Not
launched you.
didn't have any clue in the world that he was joking about there being fish that eat people in this lake, and then I got thrown into this lake.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Well, we had at our little lake, we call him the toe monster. So if you dipped your toes off the dock, he would. I think it was just a small bass, but he'd come flying up and just hammer your toes. So I've got it on video of my daughters and my niece, Charlie's little girl, Sydney, and they're dangling their toes, and the toe monster would come up and hammer them.
It's
So,
hilarious.
and it ended up being actually a really big crappie because me and Michael went there and caught it and like put it on the other side of the lake. I'm sure I didn't know how to swim back. But,
Yeah, I'm sure we could navigate its way back to the dock.
but we haven't had any problems since. So,
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh, that is hilarious.
yeah, the
man.
old toe monster. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you being on time. That's impressive. Especially I know Jake sounds like you like to sleep a little bit, but maybe you're growing out of that. You know?
I think I am. I think work's changed it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really has. The fact when I called him at 5 this morning and he was like, I'm already at Highway 34 or whatever. Oh, shit, this is different.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to come on again, and we're going to have to do it. We know that we probably shouldn't pack up all this podcast equipment and take it over east. We had originally thought about
Probably
doing
not.
that and having like a daily recap, but the odds of us actually pulling out of the box, we know at this point probably wouldn't happen. So,
Well, especially now we're going to have so many people with us. It's going to be tight fit as it is.
yeah.
It's
So
going to be a big camp.
yeah, and we'll just
12
have to do a
12
recap
people.
when we get back. So, yeah.
We'll have to do a recap.
We'll
on,
have
tell some
pictures
more
of all of
stories.
us holding our big bucks, you know.
Hopefully one day they'll...
Mine's going to be bigger than yours. But
No, it won't.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we'll have two monster mealies sitting on that wall right there.
I like that.
Fork and horn from Sam, 3-point from Jake, and then I'm going to go 4-point for my wife. But
I got a
Just to
spike
suck
by
it up a
fork
little
for
bit.
Jake.
Wow, that's disrespectful.
Hey, Taya's not here, so I got to pick on the person across from
yeah,
her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fair.
Plus, Taya's too nice to pick on, you know.
No, she's not.
Sometimes she's ruthless.
Yeah.
Tay, if you're listening to this, I don't mean this.
She
but
won't
you're
make it to
mean.
the end of the
Yeah.
podcast. You don't
Absolutely
have to
not.
Yeah, no, she's not going to make it this long at all.
She'll get through the first 7 minutes and be
Oh.
like, oh, I've heard those guys before.
Yeah, she'll go, oh, Dylan, it sounds real good, hon. Good job.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming. I appreciate you being here. It's good to
Anytime.
hang out with you. I mean, I've only gotten to hang out with you like 3 or 4 times in my life.
I know,
So,
that's kind of crazy.
yeah, it took a while with Dylan too, but now, we're breaking the ice. We're going on this first hunt together,
You're a big podcaster now.
Yeah.
I might start doing my own.
You should.
We've got this equipment. You're welcome to use it.
Yeah, but it comes at a small fee.
Yeah.
500 times ago.
$250 and a foot rub for Sam.
Yeah, every couple minutes we charge by the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to be on. I'm gonna go get Burger King.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can you give us that little jingle? My son sings it. It's on all the YouTube. All the kids sing at BK or something. Do you know that one?
At BK,
Yeah.
have it your way.
Yes, first guy to sing on the podcast.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
awesome.
it.
Yeah, I'm going
Hey.
famous, people.
Yeah, I like it.
Sounded
All right,
good too.
go get some cinnamon sticks and call it a day.
Heck
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
problem.
All right, bye.